Hey, Matt Turman here with Susquehanna Insurance. One of the questions we get most often here is how much homeowners insurance should I have? When people ask that to us, there's generally three things we come back to. There's three answers or three parts of that question is how we answer it for them. The first is how much dwelling should they have, or how much is your home actually worth? The second is how much coverage do you need for your personal property? And the third is how much liability coverage do you need? That's probably the most important that people don't really think about. First, when we're talking about dwelling coverage, people say, hey, I bought my house for $150,000. That's what my insurance should be, right? That's actually not true. Insurance companies view the replacement cost as how much it actually will cost to replace your house from the ground up, to build it from the ground up. So we don't necessarily factor in how much you paid for it or how much you're going to sell it for, but how much it's going to cost to build from the ground up. We see this a lot in downtown Lancaster, even downtown New York, where these older homes are built in the early 1900s, strong brick walls, and they're maybe sold for $150,000, but the insurance replacement cost is usually around $400,000 to $500,000, and people are like, why in the world am I paying for so much more insurance? It's because if that building goes down, it's going to cost a lot more money to build it back up than it would these new frame homes. Some of the factors that are used when figuring out the replacement cost value is how much square feet the house has, what the house is made out of, whether it's brick, whether it's a frame building. Also things like how custom is it? Are the bathrooms customized? Is the kitchen customized? How many garages does it have? Is it attached? Is it detached? All those sorts of things. Another element to the building coverage is the other structures. So when people think of other structures, it's usually sheds or barns out back. That's true, but also is fences. It's also swimming pools. And so if you have any of those things, make sure that you have enough to repair or replace the sheds and or fences you would have in your home. The second element is your personal property. So the personal property is literally all of your things in your house. The rule of thumb we use in the insurance world is if you take your house and you flip it upside down and you shake it, everything that falls out is considered your personal property. The things that don't fall out are part of the structure and should be included into the home valuation. But things that fall out are like your furniture, like your clothes, like your electronics, all that kind of stuff is covered under coverage C in the insurance policy, or personal property. Also, in insurance policies, they'll have a stated amount for jewelry, for guns, for fine arts, but it's usually a limited amount. And so if you have a specialty collector gun or a really high-end piece of art, or even an engagement ring that's worth more than $5,000, we always recommend to our customers that they would schedule that out on their personal property section of their policy. To schedule something out in your insurance policy is that you're just identifying exactly what it is with the appraisal value of how much that piece of jewelry or art or the gun is. So for example, if your wife's engagement ring is worth $15,000, we'd put a description in there of what kind of engagement ring it is with a specific value. So say it's $15,000, throw an appraisal on there with the $15,000. That way, that's covered above and beyond, say, maybe $3,000 that most homeowners policies have. Your $15,000 ring is not subject to that $3,000 limit, but you would get a full $15,000 coverage if something would happen to that. So make sure if you have any jewelry, guns, or arts that you're scheduling that out on your policy. The third and most important part of a homeowner's policy is the liability coverage. It's also the part that people generally don't think about. Liability coverage essentially is just coverage for bad things that happen to other people because of you. So say someone is at your house and they slip and fall, or they fall down the stairs, or they get bit by a dog, or they trip, or something happens that injures them at your house, or even as you're out and about in your everyday life. So if you're playing golf and you drive a golf ball through someone's front window, or through a car, or you hit somebody, someone's walking down the sidewalk in front of your house and they trip and fall. Those are all things that you're liable for. That's either because of your property, people in your household, or even you. And so this coverage, we generally recommend at least $300,000, start there, and then go up from there. $500,000 is usually a safe place to be for the homeowner's liability section. The liability coverage also covers you as you travel the world. It's not limited to just your house or even the United States, which is a nice little feature. So yeah, that's what we say when someone asks, how much homeowners insurance should I have? Those are the three things we take in consideration and walk our clients through as a process of how much is your actual home worth, not how much you bought it for, but how much it's going to cost to repair from the ground up or rebuild from the ground up. The second is how much personal property do you have? Do you have any special rings, any special guns, any special artwork that we should schedule out in your policy? And the third is how much liability you should have. How big is the home? How much do you entertain? Do you have a swimming pool? Do you have pets? All of those factors go into just a single homeowner's policy of how much you should have. Hopefully that was helpful. If you'd like more information, we just built a brand new website. Go check it out. It's got a ton of information about homeowners insurance, what you should have. Everything we outlined today is on there. Also, feel free to call us. We have agents here all day long, ready to help answer your questions that you might have about how much homeowners insurance you should have or anything else. So feel free to give us a call. At Susquehanna Insurance, we bring clarity and simplicity to your insurance needs.